Q&A session. This is an opportunity for you. We used to have these at the end of the call, but now we have them at the beginning of the call because at the end of the call, we are in breakout rooms. So we want to open up the floor to you guys for any questions that you might have for any of the coaches, or it's always nice when a client's able to give feedback to another client. That's part of the reason why we like group coaching. And so any questions about what we're going to be covering today, or any other questions in particular, just unmute or type in the chat, just whatever's easiest, and just fire away. No questions. We're all feeling pretty good. Okay. So if we don't have any questions, what we're going to be covering today is the process of self-duplication. Who here as a business owner has ever thought, oh my goodness, the business is built around me? Anybody felt that way before? Okay, I think everybody's hand is going up. Or, oh my goodness, how am I ever going to trust anybody else to do what I do? How am I ever going to get somebody trained? Anybody ever felt that way? Or felt every day, or felt like, oh my goodness, how am I ever going, like everything is in my head. I know how to do it. I know how to get it done. I'm an entrepreneur. That's how I've always done it is, you know, I see it, I do it, but everything's in my head. Gary, is that where you're at right now? Have you felt that before?
Oh yeah, I'm at the point where I'm thinking I keg every night.
Oh God.
I think with you, brother.
So you know what we're talking about here, where that is where the importance of systems really comes into play. And that's what Tim is going to be talking about with us here today, is the importance of systems in your business, why they matter, where to start. And then we're going to be broken up into breakout rooms where you're going to have a coach with you, and we're going to work with each one of you individually on what would be the best system or best area for you to start out in. And then we'll be able to book a laser coaching call with your coach so you can really get tangible system of how to start moving forward. So Tim, I see you're here, sir. I will let you take it over from here.
Hey, so we're going to talk today about systems. And so why don't we get that slide up there on the business system here? And the second slide, here we have gears. How many of you have remembered us talking about business systems? You've actually worked on business systems. Have you done that? You've been active on that? Who here has a really decent business system that you'd say you've got it going right now? Few of you guys, okay. Brent, you're kind of wondering, just maybe a little bit, you're getting there. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to cover the fundamentals here of this business system. Hold on just a minute. I'm going to turn off this light here. This way it'll show up a lot better here, and I won't have that radiant glow behind my head. I just want to try to create an atmosphere that y'all saw me as this divine anointed creature, but I don't think that's working. Why don't we get on the next slide here, Bryce? Okay, so we're going to talk about what are the basic elements of business systems. You've heard this before, but it's not what you know, it's what you do. That's the idea, right? It's what you do with that. So let's define the elements of what makes up a business system. Number one is a system's a predetermined way of doing business activities. I'm gonna go real fast, right? So pop it here. I'm just gonna be reading these things. It's a system that follows predictable and consistent steps and procedures. So if you have a system and it's not like a step-by-step process, it's probably not a system. It's something other than a system. So we want to make sure it's predictable and consistent steps within the system here. It's you're committing to say, we're going to do it this way. A system establishes an order of when things are done. Like if you're running a bakery and you put eggs in there and then you put the flour in there, it may mess it up. Maybe you need to have the flour first, then the eggs. You know, it's like when you're doing like Brent doing flooring here, there's certain preparations for the floor that they need to have done first before they get this done. And then they, you know, then they cover this other thing here. So a system establishes an order of when things are done. It's really, really important. And through trial and error, working with your coaches through trial and error, you find out the best order. Have you ever done something that you changed the order around and you got a lot better results just because it allowed you to process it faster, right? That's the idea of that. So the next point here is a system is a documented step-by-step process. So it's working with your coach to really enshrine the system into something that you can give to employees and say, follow it this way. Okay, so this is all a review. We've already talked about all this, but I want to go into the next slide here if we can. And we're talking about the actual benefits. Why do we want to build these business systems? Why do we harp on you? It seems like almost every call somehow has to do with improving your system. So number one, you know, you want the purpose of the business is to serve you, the owner, right? So you want to make sure that getting these systems is the key to getting your business working for you instead of you working for the business. How many of you right now, you feel like you're kind of a slave to your business? You feel like you're more working for your business. You ever feel that way? You guys ever feel that way? Okay. So getting these systems implemented reverses that curse where you begin to own a business and it begins to behave in a way that you want it to, rather than it telling you when to wake up and when to do this and when to stop your dinner that you're having with your family and run out because of something's happening. That's never happened to you guys, but we've heard some other contractors that that's happened to, right? All right. Secondly, the benefits of business systems is that they're going to reduce costs, increase profits. When you can get things done quicker and you get things done predictable, then you're going to reduce the cost. You're going to figure out a way to how to do that cheaper and better, and you can do it cheaper, you're going to get more profits. Thirdly, very much related to that, is systems are going to reduce decision making. Why do we want to reduce decision making? Because decision making actually slows an organization down. I can look at how healthy a business is by how many decisions are required by the company to have to make. And what a system is it's a series of decisions that have been made one time that continue, like it's an automatic decision-making process from there on out. So you can take a look at it. How many times does your projects get stalled because there's so many decision-making, the people that are on the job, they don't know enough to be able to make that next decision. It slows down your job. When it slows down your job, you'll start losing profits. True? Okay. Does somebody else have something else to say? I didn't.
That was beautiful. Couldn't say it better myself.
Oh, okay. Somebody said pre. Okay.
Amen from the choir.
Yeah. Hey, now we're going to talk. We want to make sure we don't have that beautiful child on here because I don't want you sued for child labor laws here. Okay. So be careful on that. I'm just playing with you. All right. So also systems are going to decrease needless fires and issues. Now, how many of you don't have fires and issues in your business, but you've heard of some friends that are running their own business. They got fires, putting out emergencies left and right. You've heard of that? People having that problem. All right. So if you have a lot of fires, you have a lot of issues, a lot of emergencies are coming up. Again, they slow the business down. They slow the service or the product creation down. It makes it more expensive. You reduce the profits here. So I'm really making a case for these systems. It really, and then the last thing I want to share here is it's going to, when you actively enforce your systems and make sure that people follow that, which takes some effort, systems are going to improve quality and customer satisfaction. Well, how is that? How is a system, any of your coaches jump in there, how is a system going to improve quality and customer satisfaction? Anybody?
Well, system allows you to duplicate what works. So if someone's doing something real well, you build a system off that, and that alone will improve quality.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's just, again, the decision's already been made. There's a lot less fires going on, emergencies, and slow down of the project of getting things done. You know, you're racing the clock a little bit. So this system is going to help things run smoother without having to have you there to make the decisions as the owner. Does that make sense? So let's go on. Just a couple more things here I want to share on this. So how do you know you need a better system? How do you know you need a better system here? Well, number one is if you want better results than you're currently getting, you know you need to have a better system. If you like the results you're getting, you like the number of emergencies or fires you're putting out, if you like the decision making that like the project is stopped until you show up and make a decision. If you like that, great. But if you want better results, then you need to create a system or improve your system. Now at Redmond Growth, we teach systems, but we're constantly working on the systems. Each of the coaches that you see on this call here, they're constantly challenging the systems to make it better. All right, so we want to get better results. Number two is if you or your team have repeated mistakes or you have low quality issues. Have you ever had in your product or service or what you're producing, you ever have time where you had to go back and do it again? It wasn't good enough. Has that ever, am I the only one that's ever happened to? Come on. You guys ever have to rework a job? I'm the only one here. Tom Stout in Los Angeles. Where in God's name are you? Are you like on a Hollywood set or something? This is like too beautiful. It's almost distracting me. I'm jealous here. Okay.
This is Puerto Rico back in a couple months ago.
Oh, somebody need to be. That's great. Okay, so let's keep popping those things here. And how do you know you need a better system? If your team or customers suffer from confusion, frustrations, misunderstandings. Now take a look at your business here. Is there a lot of frustration in it? Is there a lot of miscommunications, misunderstandings? Is there a lot of confusion, frustration? If that is, it's usually a sign that the system that you ought to have set up is not set up or is not working for you. It really is kind of like a healing ointment that's just going to calm the business down. Does that make sense here? So this is why you need a better system. Now, what I want each of you to be thinking about, because each of you are going to go into your own room here in just a few minutes and work on, I want you to think about the system in your business that's costing you the most. But let's go on to the next slide here. All right, so we're going to go into talking about, how to evaluate how your systems are going, just to get your mind thinking. It may not be the system that you work with in your coach in your breakout room, but just so here's a healthy system on marketing. Number one, you use 3 clearly identified marketing legs. And an unhealthy system is you don't have 3, or you have too many of them. You just got 23 of them and there's too many to track. Number 2 is you've optimized your Google My Business. You're getting all the Google reviews you have. You've got your staff trained. You got your customers trained. You never have enough of these Google reviews. And then the unhealthy system is there's a casual effort towards Google reviews. Third point is you track every lead in one place versus having leads all over the place or not really even tracking them at all. Okay, let's go on to the next one. You got to move quicker here, Bryce, if you can. All right, real quick, just pop it. All right, so On sales here, you have a healthy system, follow a well-documented sales workflow. Does your sales system have a workflow? So you take a look at ours. Ours is, last time I looked, it was about 60 pages because it's got scripts in there and what we send out and when we send. It's like a script. It's like a movie script that they follow exactly what the next step is to make sure that we maximize our sales. Unhealthy systems, get them to close whenever you have time. Okay. And it's just kind of a casual effort. The second thing here is you have quality lead. You qualify the lead as soon as possible to determine the priority of who to call, who to spend the most time with versus not hassling it because you close most of your prospects. Okay. And I was just talking to Nicole and she had the comment in there, just, okay, it's like people think that, I close 80%, so there's no reason for me to actually have to qualify each lead. All right. Well, you're going to end up losing on that strategy. A healthy system here is third. Is you have clear competitive advantages of why people choose you. What is your competitive advantage versus we care, we do high quality work. That's what we say. Everybody else says that, but you don't have real clear value. You don't really separate yourself. Let me go after, well, let's skip that last one. Let's go on to that, the last slide here if we can, Bryce. Let's skip all that here. All right. So what I want you guys to go into your breakout rooms with is what system is costing you the most? What system is costing you the most? Now, would somebody, maybe two people, talk about a system that they want to work on in the breakout room, a system that you want to see improvement in your business? Anybody speak up on this?
Labor?
Yeah, go ahead.
The workforce, labor.
Yeah, labor hiring system. Okay, very good. All right, looks like you're recruiting pretty early there, pretty young. I like that. It's working. Okay, so what's another system that you want to work on? System you definitely want to work on. Somebody else?
For me, I do construction. This is Tom, and it's basically getting the lead and getting them through the design. It's a design build company, so getting them through the design phase, without me having to say, okay, we need this from the homeowners, and then you got to get a survey and all this stuff. I need to have that to flow. That's what's choking me.
We need the whole design estimation process to be a lot smoother without pulling you in as much. So the more specific you can get to work on your business, don't be the guy that sits across the street and looks at, yeah, I ought to work on that. Get real personal, because know that when you implement these systems, and Bryce, thank you so much. I'm so difficult to work with here. Thank you for flowing. I know those things were going as fast as you can push them, but just know this, that you want to with your systems. I want you to love success, desire success so much that you've got this burning desire to set up, focus on one system in your breakout rooms where you can really see some improvement. So let's take a moment right now. Let's break out into each of the groups here, and we will we'll see you on the other side of this. Okay.
All right. We should have notifications there on your screen to join the breakout room.